Hello, and welcome to a video about solving the system here. Now you might want to go to Google Classroom and review the Quizlet with some of the vocab. For instance, a system is two equations with the same variables. These are both linear equations. You might remember where we had to solve for y and then graph it. These equations are in standard form, meaning that the x's and y's are on the same side and they're equal to a number. So it's good to review some of that vocab from the Quizlet on Google Classroom before we get started. Also, for this video, you're going to need a sheet of paper. You're going to want to fold that sheet of paper in half long ways, like so. That way you're going to have two sides to your notes. You can draw a line along that crease. One side is going to be labeled steps. The other side is going to be labeled math. So if you need to pause the video to get set up, you can pause it and then hit play and we'll go to the next part. Okay, so you should have your sheet of paper and this is what we're going to get started with. You're going to want to write given a system on the steps side, and then here's the system on the math side. Now, before we get into step one thing I want to point out, so the first equation we have 2x plus 3y equals 15. In the second equation we have an x, and remember you can always think of it as having like an invisible 1 in front of that x. Alright, so to solve this system for step one here, you are going to want to add the equations. These two equations, I'm going to add them together. Right? And as I do this, I'm going to set up my jail bars because I still have two sides to my equation. On this side, we just have numbers, right? 15 plus 3 is 18. On this side, we have the 2x plus the 1x, so we're going to get a 3x. Now, for the y's here, notice how we have a plus 3y and then a minus 3y. We would call this an additive inverse. That's a math vocab word. Where when we're adding these, because they have opposite signs, they're just going to cancel. Right? So I'm just going to be left with the 3x equal to 18. So step 2 is going to be to solve for the remaining variable. In this case, we have the x all by itself, and the y's had canceled. You could see a problem where the x's cancel, and you'd have to solve for y. Now, in order to solve, we're going to use our inverse operations. You can think of when you have that 3 next to the x as like a 3 times x. So I'm going to divide both sides by the 3. Meaning that x is equal to 18 divided by 3, which is 6. Alright, so keep in mind though, we do have two variables, which means now that I have x equals 6, the next step is to find the other variable. We can do that by plugging in our answer that we got for x into one of our original equations. I'm going to choose this one. So instead of writing x, I'm going to write the 6. We're going to have 6 minus the 3y equals 3. And you would solve this like a two-step equation. Again, I'm going to draw my jail bars. I'm going to start by subtracting the 6 from each side. You're going to want to bring down, don't forget the sign here, it's a negative 3y. That's going to be equal to 3 minus 6, which is a negative 3. Second step for a two-step equation, you're going to divide both sides by -3. So y is equal -3 divided by -3. That's just going to be a +1. So we now have an answer for x and an answer for y. Remember that our answers should be in ordered pairs. Solutions are ordered pairs. In this case, we have 6, 1 for our x and y. Thank you for watching.